want long hair? Long and healthy hair? Are you tired of seeing people who cut their hair long ago grow their hair faster than you while you still have your chin length hair? Okay guys, so I have 5 tips to retain length. Length retention is the key to hair growth. If you want your hair to grow super long, it's length retention. So listen up, take out your notebooks, and get ready. The reason why we concern ourselves with length is because, especially in the natural hair community, if you have a kinky, curly texture, our hair is very delicate. Let me just get that straight. Our hair is very delicate. Our hair is very sensitive. It breaks easily. You have to use a lot of methods to take care of the hair. And maybe other people from other races are probably wondering, what is the obsession with having long hair? And the reason why we end up giving up and we end up wearing wigs and we're doing other hairstyles is because it's so hard to take care of our hair, because out of all hair textures, our hair texture is the most delicate and the most fragile. It breaks easily and it needs to be taken care of. It requires, like, if another hair texture requires 5 steps, our hair requires like 10 steps. That's how complicated our hair is. But if you do not gain knowledge, then it will be complicated. The Bible says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Once you have knowledge, you will know how to take care of your hair. But if you don't know how to take care of your hair, then your hair won't grow. Tip number 1 is ignore and have patience. Having natural hair requires some perseverance. Yes. Ignore that it's been a day, it's been a week. We like to count how long we've been growing our hair. Like, oh, this is day 5 of me being natural. This is day 10. This is 2 months. Ignore the numbers. Ignore, oh, in 3 months, my length has been this long. Comparing your length to another person, saying, oh, when they were 3 months in their journey, their hair was up to their chin. My hair is only up to my nose. Ignore all of that. And also apply patience, because it does take some time. I'm going to put like how fast the hair grows every single month on average. So your hair can go slower or faster than the average. But on average, that's how fast our hair grows every single month. The fact that if you have a relaxer or you have bleached your hair, dyed your hair a certain color. Let's say, for example, you dyed your hair blonde. After some time, you start to see your hair come through. And let's say your hair is black or brown. You start to see that black root come through. That means your hair is growing. From how your hair was fully blonde, now there is some dark roots. That means your hair is growing. Now, the only problem is that we do not retain the ends. We do not retain the ends. Because if your hair grows this month, if your hair grows this much in a month, and you break off this much in a month, you won't see growth because you are not retaining the length. So that's why you have to have patience and follow these steps that I'm about to give you guys. And we're going to go to step 2, because step 2 is really important. So step 2 is so important because this actually helps you plan out your routine and how you do your hair in basic. What products to use, when to use them, how to use them. Step number 2 is have planned protective styles. When you have protective styles, that really helps you forget about your hair. When you have a protective style, it means minimizing manipulation. When you have a protective style, it minimizes for you to constantly be in your hair, pulling it, tugging it, and your hair just gets to rest and grow. And at the same time, it helps you prolong the time. So have planned protective hairstyles. Like, for example, I'll use myself for example. January, I have braids, mini twists. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep those twists for 2 months. In between those 2 months, obviously, I'm going to wash my hair, moisturize my hair, detangle it, retwist it for 2 months. But because I'm a woman, I get bored. I get bored easily. So what you do is I plan, okay, after the 2 months, I'm going to wear wigs. After like the 3rd month to the 4th month, I'm going to switch between wigs. I'm going to wear hats, I'm going to wear scarves, I'm going to wear wigs and explore. Next thing you blink, oh my gosh, it's April. And then you move on and then you start doing braids, like long braids. And by the time you look at your year, 6 months have passed and you haven't been extreme with your hair, with combing it every day. Because if you just leave your hair as it is, every day you're doing ponytails, every day you're doing high puffs, every day you're doing wash and goes, every day you're busy curling your hair, touching your hair, that causes breakage. That really does manipulate your hair to the wrong direction. So planned protective hairstyles are so good. Plan your hairstyles. Plan and be like, okay, this season is summer. Let me do hairstyles that won't make me feel hot. In the season of winter, let me do braids because they're going to be nice and keep me warm and they're going to look pretty. Let me plan and do blonde hairstyles. Plan out your hairstyles. When you do that, in a way, there's a structure for your hair journey. This next tip is one of the most important tips because if you do not take care of this, you will not see long hair. Tip number 3 is secure your ends. If you don't take care of your elders, aka your ends, you will not see length retention. You will not see your hair grow. Like I said, if your hair grows this much every single month, and let's say you kept the hairstyle in for 2 months and you do not comb your hair, manipulate your hair, your ends are tucked in, you will see a difference. Let's say before you did a certain hairstyle, your hair was up to your chin. After that, after 2 months, you will see your hair up to here because of this much hair growth. If you manipulate and you're busy pulling on your hair, doing things that causes breakage, your hair will keep snapping off. You're not moisturizing your hair. You're not washing your hair. You don't have a routine. Snapping off. Sleeping with no hair bonnet. Snapping off. Your ends will keep snapping off because they are the weakest part of your hair. Your hair is weak overall, but your ends will be the weakest part. Very delicate, very I won't say sensitive, but our hair is very delicate. So we need to treat it like silk. We need to take care of it like a baby. And the ends are like newborn babies. They're like really, really delicate because they've been around for a very long time and they've endured the seasons, and they're older. So for you to take care of them, you need to make sure that they are secure. So when I say secure, I mean do hairstyles that keep your ends tucked in. Don't do a lot of hairstyles where your hair is out. Don't do a lot of hairstyles where your ends are constantly holding on for dear life. If you're gonna do hairstyles like putting beads, what I do, I usually just put like extensions and I use the extensions to hold on to the beads. Because what happens is if you use your own hair, it does cause your hair to snag and to rip. Don't wear and use stuff that causes your hair to keep breaking, putting clip-ins, doing all kinds of hairstyles that will cause your ends to break off. And once your ends break off, you won't see that your hair is growing. You can see that, oh my gosh, I have new growth. But why? Because your ends are falling out every time because of a bad routine. Tip number 4 is do not over trim. That was my mistake. Like literally, I used to trim my hair every single, I would say 2 weeks. And there was a time where I bleached my hair. It wasn't blonde, but it was like a light color, like a light brown. And I remember seeing the two different colors. And I remember watching a video on YouTube and a girl was just cutting off that color. I misinterpreted her cutting that off. For her, she just wanted to go back to her hair color and she just cut off the color. She was getting rid of the color. I interpreted that as trimming your hair. So every time I used to use color, I would be like, oh my gosh, I can't have that two-tone. I can't have two colors on my hair. Cut it off. And I used to cut off chunks of my hair. And I would wonder like, why is my hair not growing? Because I used to overdo it. My ends would be so healthy. My ends would be so juicy. They'll be leveled and I'll still cut them. I will still cut them. Only cut your hair when it's necessary. Only trim your ends when it's necessary. If your ends are looking untidy and they're looking not balanced and your ends are looking like what's going on with your ends, that's when you cut them off. Don't cut them off when they're healthy. And like I said, have a planned routine. When you plan your routine, you can actually monitor and see, is my hair healthy right now? Is my hair doing well right now? And if your hair is healthy, there's no need for you to go crazy and trim it. And the last tip is breakage. For me, it is breakage and dryness. So if your hair is breaking, obviously you won't see any length retention. And if you check out this video, it talks about how to prevent your hair to be dry. So if your hair is dry, it's going to break. Think about a stick. If you see, for example, a stick outside, when you break it, when it's dry, it's easy to break. But soak that in water and take that very same stick and try to break it. It's very bendy. It's very hard to break. You have to literally do all kinds of things because it's moisturized. It has liquid. It absorbed liquid. It's very hard to break a stick that is moisturized and it's wet. But when it's dry, oh my gosh, it's so easy to snap. It's very easy to just break into pieces. That's what happens with your hair. If you do not moisturize your hair will break. If you do not constantly have a routine where your hair is drinking and is moisturized, your hair will break. Not only from the ends because they're old, from the center, from the root, each part of your hair. And then your hair will look very frizzy because different strands are breaking at different lengths. And your hair will appear very dry and it won't look like one length because your hair is breaking off at different parts because your hair is dry and thirsty. And breakage is so bad because it really hinders your hair growth. It really slows it down. You may be drinking pills, you may be exercising, eating all the right foods, you may be massaging your scalp, but if your hair is breaking, you're doing that all in vain. You need to prevent breakage. And preventing breakage is keeping your hair moisturized, keeping all that moisture in. So check out my video on how to seal in the moisture. Make sure that you have a good routine every week. A weekly or twice a week or twice a month, however you want it done. You make sure that you have a routine where your hair is constantly moisturized. You shampoo, you clarify, you condition, you deep condition, you put a mask on, you do all that good stuff. And when you're done, you seal in your hair with the right oils for your hair type, for your porosity type. If you want to know more about porosity, check out this video. And guys, those are the 5 tips that will Thank you guys for watching my video, and I'm so happy that you guys watched till the end because I want you guys to identify the problem. And I want you guys to use these tips to help your hair, have a solution for your hair, be able to grow your hair long and healthy. Besides the length, but you want to have healthy hair. When you have hair that's breaking, it doesn't appear healthy. But if you have length retention and your hair is healthy, the knowledge is power, guys. You will have long hair. That's the bonus that you have. If you take care of your hair and apply these tips, your hair will grow long. So I'm so grateful, guys, for watching till the end. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for watching my video, and please watch my other previous videos. And guys, God is good all the time. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.